Okay, so good afternoon to all of you. Let me start with the class. Okay, in the last class for PSM theory, what did we do? What did we learn in the last class? Tell me about the last class.
Biological hazard.
Huh?
Biological hazard.
Ma'am, biological hazards you have completed, ma'am.
Biological hazard. So, Singni Suchang, you read out the first one, physical hazard from the industrial hazard. You just read out.
Physical hazard is an agent factor or a circumstances that can cause harm with or without contact. Physical hazard include radiation, heat and cool, stress, noise hazard, etc. Physical hazards are common sources in many industries. They are perhaps unavoidable in certain industries, such as construction and mining. But over time, people have developed safety methods and procedures to manage the risk of physical danger in a workplace.
What about the PPE? PPE was also included. Personal protective equipment. Yes or no, Singh? Read out. Who have written the PPE?
I don't have, ma'am.
Jiban, you have PPE?
In
Yes,
physical,
ma'am.
ma'am, there is no PPE, ma'am.
Huh? Jiban, yes, what?
In physical hazards, ma'am, there is no PPE written, ma'am.
I have given though. Thus it is important to know and apply the PPE. I have given a personal protective equipment. In that I have given face shield, gowns, gloves, mask, shoe cover, head cover,
That's
all these
ma'am.
things.
Chemical hazard, ma'am.
That's, ma'am, chemical hazards.
Oh, sorry, chemical hazard. Acha, acha. Okay, physical hazard. Okay, Jiban, you read out the chemical hazard.
Okay, ma'am. Chemical hazards are produced by germicides, example, formaldehyde and glutaraldehyde, and sterilizing gases. Examples, ethylene oxide. Whenever possible, less hazardous agents should be selected. Example, alcohol, ammonium compounds, etc. Workers should be trained on standard operating instruction, safe working practices, and appropriate emergency response. A chemical hazard is a type of occupational hazard caused by exposure to chemical in the workplace. Depending on the chemical, the hazards involved may be varied. Thus, it is important to know and apply PPE, personal protective equipment, especially working in the laboratories. PPE includes gowns, gloves, masks, goggles, head cover, respirators, shoes cover, etc.
Okay. Birdishri, you read out the biological hazard.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Biological hazard, also known as biohazard. The biohazard symbol was developed in 1966 by Charles Baldwin.
It's
And
not Charles, it's
environmental
Charles. Not Charles.
Charles Baldwin. An environmental health engineer working for the Dow Chemical Company on the containment products. Source of biological hazards may include bacteria, virus, plants, birds, animals, and humans. These sources can cause a variety of health effects, ranging from skin irritations and allergies to infection. Example, tuberculosis, TB, AIDS, cancer, so on.
Okay, so today we will start with a new unit. Okay, you write down unit 2. This one was unit 1. Okay, now you write unit 2, and the name of the topic, name of the chapter is primitive medicine to world health. Primitive medicine to world health. Write down the chapter's name, primitive, P-R-I-M-I-T-I-V-E, primitive medicine, M-E-D-I-C-I-N-E, primitive medicine to world health, world health. Okay, so this is a new unit that we'll be starting today. So you write down a headline, concept of disease. Write down the headline, concept of disease, concept, C-O-N-C-E-P-T, concept of disease. Underline kora, concept of disease. Underline it. Then write down below number 1. First point, write down number 1. A condition, C-O-N-D-I-T-I-O-N, a condition in which the body function is impaired. In which the body function is impaired. I-M-P-A-I-R-E-D. A condition in which the body function is impaired. I-M-P-A-I-R-E-D, impaired. Number 2, second point you write down. A maladjustment, M-A-L-A-D-J-U-S-T-M-E-N-T. A maladjustment, it is one word, okay? Maladjustment of humans to the environment. Maladjustment of human to the environment. A maladjustment of human to the environment. Okay, the first one that you have written, a condition in which the body function is impaired. That means concept of disease means it is a condition in which the body function becomes weak, or it can also become disabled or damaged. Okay, that is the meaning of impaired. So it is a condition. Number 2 is the maladjustment between we human beings and the environment where we live in. So this is the meaning of concept of disease, the 2 points. Below you write causes, C-A-U-S-E-S, causes, underline it. Causes, underline, and write down number 1. Supernatural causes. Number 1, supernatural causes. Supernatural, S-U-P-E-R-N-A-T-U-R-A-L, supernatural causes. Number 2, write down germ theory, germ, G-E-R-M, germ theory, T-H-E-O-R-Y, germ theory. Germ theory. Number 3, third point, theory, T-H-E-O-R-Y, theory of humors, H-U-M-O-R-S, theory of humors, H-U-M-O-R-S, in bracket, write down fluids, F-L-U-I-D-S, fluids. Humors means fluids. In bracket, you write fluids, F-L-U-I-D-S, fluids. Next one, you write theory of contagion, C-O-N-T-A-G-I-O-N, G-I-O-N, contagion. Theory of contagion, C-O-N-T-A-G-I-O-N, contagion. Number 5, multifactorial causation. Multifactorial causation. Below you just write down humors. Write down humors. Just write down a note. Okay, note, N-O-T, note, and you write down humor, H-U-M-O-R-S, humors, and you write down the 4 humors of the body are. The 4 humors of the body. It is a note. Okay, I can just ask you write down the 4 humors of the body. Then you should know what are the 4 humors. Write down the 4 humors of the body are yellow bile, yellow, Y-L-L-O-W, yellow bile, P-I-N-E, bile, yellow bile, comma, black bile, B-L-A-C-K, black bile, B-I-L-E, bile, black bile, comma, blood, B-L-O-O-D, blood, blood. Last one is the phlegm, P-H-L-E-G-M, P-H-L-E-G-M, phlegm. So these are the 4 humors of the body. That is yellow bile, black bile, blood, and the phlegm. Next you write down in a bracket just near to phlegm, you just open a bracket and write down phlegm is a P-H-L-E-G-M, phlegm is a mucus. Phlegm is a mucus, M-U-C-U-S, mucus. Phlegm is a mucus that is thicker, T-H-I-C-K-E-R, that is thicker. That is thicker, don't write that is thicker, that becomes thicker. That becomes thicker than normal, becomes thicker than normal due to irritation, I-R-R-I-T-A-T-I-O-N, due to irritation, sickness, mainly from the respiratory tract. Mainly from the respiratory tract, T-R-A-C-T. Mainly from the respiratory tract. Some of the examples include excessive exercise, consumption of certain foods such as milk, such as milk, MILK milk, and you also use of tobacco. And also the use of tobacco. And also the use of tobacco. TOBACCO, tobacco. So phlegm is nothing but it is a mucus, okay, and it becomes thicker when the person have upper respiratory tract infection. Okay, when there is an infection in the respiratory tract, the person's mucus, it becomes thick. Okay, that okay, thick. It becomes thick. And some of the examples that I've given you are excessive exercise, then consumption of certain food items such as milk, and also the use of tobacco can increase the thickness of this phlegm. Okay, so wait, I'll are you able to see the screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so write down this one. Don't write A, okay? Just write down primitive medicine and then you write till here. Don't write A, just write primitive medicine and you can start with this thing. It can come as short note. Primitive medicine. Primitive itself means, what is primitive? What do you mean by primitive? Anyone?
Old, ma'am.
Huh?
Old, ma'am.
Primitive life. Primitive people, they didn't have any civilization, right? They didn't have any proper civilization. They were the early mans that were living during primitive. So at that time also, there was primitive medicine. There was usage of medicine. But the treatment and the thoughts of those people were very different to that of the present era. Okay, so primitive medicine is timeless. It has been truly said that medicine was conceived in sympathy and born out of necessity. Born out of necessity means a medicine, okay, whatever medicine that they were using at that time, it was born out of necessity. Maybe someone got fever, flu, stomach pain, and they do not know what to do. So they just take out the herbs. They go to jungle, they eat some herbs, they know some fruits that can heal certain certain sickness like stomach pain. So all these things were coming out through the necessity of human beings, and that the first doctor was the first man and first women and the first nurse. The first doctor according to primitive era was the first man. According to Christian beliefs, the first man was Adam and the first woman was Eve. So they believe that Adam and Eve were the first person to bring out such kinds of medicines that can heal them of certain sickness. And the first nurse was like, we can't say first nurse, but she was known as Lady with the Lamp, and her name was Florence Nightingale, although she is from the present era. Okay, she has helped a lot of people at that time, especially she have helped the military people, and so she was known as the first nurse. Her name was Florence Nightingale, and she was known as Lady with a Lamp. Okay, the prehistoric man, motivated by feelings of sympathy and kindness, was always at the best of his kindred, trying to provide relief in times of sickness and suffering. So they believe in sympathy and kindness. So they just motivate someone. If you are sick, then they will motivate. It's okay, it's all right, you'll be fine. It's just because of some problem. So they will just give some kind of sympathy. So they think that by doing this, they can heal the sick. Since his knowledge was limited because of no knowledge, he was not educated. right? Early men, they were not educated. So because of his less knowledge, he believed in all these things. The primitive man attributed diseases and in fact all human suffering and other calamities to the wrath of gods, the invasion of body by evil spirits, and the malevolent influence of stars and planets. So because of this limited knowledge, what they believed is that sicknesses and diseases and the human suffering, whatever the people were suffering, it was because of the wrath of gods. Wrath of God means they believed, most probably they believed in karma, that if you did good, good will happen to you in the next life, after life, and if you did bad, the same thing goes around. So they believed in the wrath of gods. If the god was angry on them, they suffer from earthquake, they can suffer from landslide, they might suffer from various kinds of sicknesses, mental sickness. Maybe mental sicknesses was mainly at that time was thought to be the wrath of god. They used to believe that it was because of some spell, okay, magic spell, this and that. So they believe in all these things. And because of the stars and planets, that means in astrology, they believed in astrology also. The concept of disease, in which the ancient man believed, is known as supernatural theory of disease. So this is all about supernatural. This is supernatural, right? Wrath of gods, invasion of body by evil spirits, then spells, magics, astrology. So these are supernatural theories. So this comes under the supernatural theory of disease, which man believed earlier. As a logical sequence, the medicine he practiced consisted in appeasing gods by prayers. So what they believe, that if we pray to God, if we do some kind of rituals or puja, or if we offer something to the gods and goddesses, then they will heal our prayers and then the person will be fit and fine. They believed in that. By rituals and sufferings, driving out evil spirits from the human body by witchcraft and other crude means, and using charms and amulets to protect himself against the influence of evil spirits. So this thing, it has, why it is said, why is it said that it is timeless? Because till today these things are still in belief. We still do these things. It was not only in the earlier times, but even now it is still in use in many of the places, and we still believe, many people still believe in all these things. Okay, so that is why it is known as timeless. But after time, later, slowly as time passed by, we have known many kinds of medicines. We have come to know the usage of health centers. We know that we should go to hospital, we should cure ourselves, we should take medicine, we should go for regular checkup. So these things were not known before. So they believed in all these supernatural things. Okay, that is why it is known as primitive medicine. So you just write this paragraph. It's very easy. You can just understand. It can come as short note, might or might not, but you need to write it down. Finish writing?
No, ma'am.
Okay. This last paragraph, no need to write.
Done, ma'am.
Finish. All of you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So, ठीक है. अच्छा, after this, in the next paragraph, you write down this example. You write. Okay, right till here. So I've given you two examples. One example is in India, one may still hear the talk of curing snake bites by mantras. So in India, it is still going on that if a snake has bitten you, then you will go to a sadhu or pujari, and by some kind of mantras, you will be all right. Okay, and the second one is disease such as leprosy. Okay, disease such as leprosy, it is thought to be believed as because of one's past sin, it is the person is suffering from this disease. Okay, so these are the two supernatural theories that it is still going on. But the main thing is they should visit a hospital. They should go to a doctor. Okay. As although primitive man may be extinct, although if primitive men are no more, his progeny, the so-called traditional healers, are found everywhere. So the traditional healers, all these people who think that by mantras we can cure snake bites, okay, and leprosy is caused by one's past sin. That means it is known as karma only. Because of the past sin, the person is now suffering from leprosy. Leprosy is a, what is leprosy? It is caused by, leprosy is caused by a bacteria, okay, and the name of the bacteria is Mycobacterium leprae, and it will cause you nerve damage, okay, and it will also affect your skin and eyes, nose, all these parts will be affected. Plus, the person will not be able to move properly. Okay, he will be sitting in one particular place. You will have to hold the person in order to move the person from one place to another. So these things were thought to be believed as punishment of one's past sin, and these things are still going on even today. So that is why it is known as primitive medicine is timeless, because it's still going on. The thoughts and views are still there in our mind. So these are the two examples. Next, finish na?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then you write Indian medicine. Don't write B, huh? Just write down Indian medicine. After writing Indian medicine, you can write this. Write on the second paragraph. Finish?
Yes, ma'am.
So soon. You are really writing now?
Still, ma'am.
Okay. Write down properly.
Done, ma'am.
Finish. Okay. So, hygiene. Okay, in Indian medicine, we have seen that hygiene was the main priority. Okay, hygiene was given important place in ancient Indian medicine, and the archaeological excavations. Okay, excavations means the findings, and archaeology. What is archaeology? It is the study of
Ma'am, Purani Vastu, ma'am, means
Purani
old.
Vastu. Okay, Purani Vastu. So, archaeological excavations at Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, okay, in the Indus Valley. These are two places at that time. Now it is no more. So by the archaeological excavations, it has been found that in these places, okay, the lifestyle was completely different. Like they were more advanced towards sanitation, proper sanitation. Okay, water supply was also accurate, and engineering, the house that they made, that they built, the houses that were built, okay, the sanitation and whatever water supply, whatever was there, the engineering was like the new era. Okay, their engineering was very much in a high profile at that time. So in archaeological excavations, they had found out this thing. So that is why they have said that hygiene was one of the most important place in ancient Indian medicine. The golden age of Indian medicine was born in the year 800 BC and 600 AD. Okay, before Christ and Andy Dominion. Mention must be made of the other indigenous system of medicine. These things were used even at that time, that is Unani, Tip and homeopathy, which are not of Indian origin. These two forms of medicines, Unani and homeopathy, these are not Indian. Okay, Unani, it was mainly based on the teaching of some physicians of Hippocrates and Galen. Okay, they were physicians at that time. So it was their medicine. And this system of medicine was mainly used to cure skin lesions, okay, skin infection, liver problems, reproductive system. Okay, so all these medical problems were solved at that time through this form of medicine, that is Unani tip. And homeopathy which is still used. So these two medicines are not Indian in origin, it is said here. So in the next paragraph, you just write that write this line. The Indian system of medicine, including Unani tea and homeopathy, are very much alive in India even today. Write this line. That this system of medicine is still used. Even now, Unani and homeopathy is found. Only 1 minute is left. You write down fast this line. Finish?
Yes, ma'am.
After this, you write this one. Write this. Some other medicines include Chinese medicine, Egyptian, Greek, Mesopotamian, and the Roman medicine. You just need to know the names. I won't give you the explanation as it is not so much important. But you need to know the other medicines used. There were Chinese, Egyptian, Greek, Mesopotamian, and the Roman. Finish now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Join the class again, okay? I will take your practicals. Join again.